Yeah, it's been a fun journey. It's been different. You know, I've started my career here in 2019 and didn't play again until 2020. You know, played that one game in Canberra, my second game was, and only got a couple minutes on the field and didn't know whether I was going to be getting another game for the rest of the year, but it turns out a few weeks later I was in the team and didn't really get out of the team until grand final day. So it's been good, and on and off the field I've been very happy with my life the past couple of years and the journey it's taken me to where I am today. So yeah, and all the boys have been so welcoming in my journey, and the coaching staff, just everyone at the Melbourne Storm club have been on this ride with me, and I've really enjoyed it. I still kind of pinch myself knowing that it had happened. You know, like all the stars aligned, and it probably shouldn't have happened, but it did. And you know, the footy gods were on my side for once, which they hadn't really been for a long time. And you know, it happened, and I got to do it for my family and my friends and the people of my hometown, Yamana, and you know, especially my mum and dad and my brother. And you know, I always say that game was for them, and the rest are going to be for me. And I've had a few more now, and playing in my hometown for the first game is something special, and I definitely won't forget it anytime soon. The Melbourne Storm club is a family, and that's what they pride themselves on, and that's what all the boys pride themselves on. The Melbourne Storm it's such a family culture and a family club, and you know, from the bottom to the top, from left to right, from the office to the playing staff, football staff, everyone's been so welcoming and been a part of it. And then you know, the boys, like, you can't really put to words what the boys are like. You know, there's no arrogance, there's no dickheads, they're just, you know, brothers. You know, they're my best mates, and you know, I'll never forget the boys the mates that I've made here. And yeah, I've made some great mates along the way, and you know, I'd probably be rude to pick out a few, you know, because they're all my best mates. So you know, I can't thank them enough for what they've done, and everyone at the Melbourne Storm. You know, I have a genuine love for everyone here. Coming to the club, I didn't know much about Billy Slater other than he was the Queensland legend, Melbourne Storm legend, Australian legend, and you know, I grew up in New South Wales, so I was kind of against Billy Slater for a lot of those years because he broke my heart in Origin 8 years in a row. But you know, I remember the first day I stepped on the training paddock at the Melbourne Storm when I was down for the pre-season. He was there, and before I even stepped on there, he's had his hand out, shaking my hand and asking about me, where I'm from and who I was, and straight away I knew this guy he's the GOAT, you know. And from that day onwards, he's helped me out huge amounts in my game, just little things on the field, you know. But not so much he's taught me how to be off the field. I just can see it from the way he acts, and that's how I wanted to be at the Melbourne Storm. And so he's been massive in my development and as a player and a person. You know, someone like Bellamy, who doesn't get a lot of mentions in our club purely because he's an assistant coach, and they don't really get mentions at any club really, assistant coaches. But you know, when I come down in 2019, he's the development coach, and you know, all the new boys need development when you get to the club, and he was the one for me. I'd do video with, I would sit down and talk attack with him. You know, he's helped me out a lot, and he's someone who given me the confidence to become the player I wanted to become. And you know, I've had a lot of problems with confidence on the field, and he's someone who's given me a hell of a lot, and you know, I can't thank him enough either. And he's just such a genuine guy, and he's come from a really good family, and he's got a really good family in himself as well. So, you know, and then in the players wise, you know, you've got the Billy Slaters, the Cameron Smith, Cameron Munster, and all those great players. But I think, you know, Kenny Bromwich and Jesse Bromwich have been people who you probably wouldn't think they would be a mentor of mine, but they're just really good people and good leaders, and some, you know, I look up to them too, and how they are as brothers, and you know, and I look to them and think, you know, me and my brother have similar qualities with what they have, and I just really like their bond, and they're just such great people, and I just feel like they've took me under their wing kind of thing, and you know, I like to go have a beer with them as well, because you know, they look after me, and yeah, so as in mentors, I think they've been two good mentors for me. Probably the first question I get asked by my friends or people I know outside of the Melbourne Storm back home or just in the streets, you know, they ask, oh, what's Craig Bellamy like? Is he the same as he is when he's in the box? But You know, sometimes he can be because he has to be, but he's a complete different person, you know. And for me, he's been unreal. And obviously, it started off a bit slow, you know, when I first come to the club, and he's got, you know, bigger fish to worry about at the time when I first got to the club, because he's got his, you know, he's 17 each week. So I was obviously with more development coaches at the time, but you know, as our relationship got bigger and blossomed a little bit more, you know, he's been huge. And he's not only a football coach, he's also, you know, your mate, or he's a role model as well off the field, because he really cares about who you are, your family, and how you're going off the field too. And that's something I value in a person, and he's done that for me, and he's been there for me in some circumstances that I was doing it a little bit tough. And on the field, he's the best coach in the world. You know, everyone sees that, and he's made sure that I stick to my strengths. You know, and when I was filling in for Hughes or Paps, you know, like I don't have to go out there and do what they do. You know, they're different players to me, so he just made sure you be Nicho Hynes and you play to your strength and how you play the game, because that's going to bring a different strength than to what they can bring to the team or what Paps can bring to the team. You know, so if you do that for us, then you know we're going to be better on the field if you're going to bring your strengths. And for him to say that to me just brings confidence again. You know, like confidence is huge in my football ability, and he's brought that for me. And you know, he's going to be a coach that I'm going to miss for sure. And you know, I can't speak highly ever of Craig Bellamy. The journey that we took that we'll probably never ever have to go through again. You know, we're going through something similar at the moment, but it'll be never the same as what we went through last year. And you know, like I said before, I played my second game against Canberra, and I didn't think that by any length that I was going to be in the grand final day, you know, a match team. You know, like I thought, you know, I'll get a few games here and there this year, hopefully, and then the following year might be my breakout year. And you know, I played a couple of games, and then we were going really good, and I started playing some good footy, and I was thinking, you know, if I'm going to put my best foot forward and make Craig pitch me every week, I could be in this team until grand final day. And you know, I was starting to think about it, going, here we go, this is on me here. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure I'm in this team every week, and then I could have a premiership ring by the end of the year. And being here at the Sunshine Coast, you know, it brought us closer. The bond we made that year, you know, I'll never ever forget the year we had in 2020. Just the relationship we built with families, you know, the kids, the players' kids and partners, and it just really showed what sort of culture we have here at the Storm, and I think that helped us a lot. And you know, leading up to the grand final was the best experience of my life. Obviously, I knew that I was going to be on the bench and didn't know whether I was going to get on the field or not. And I played all the semi-finals and got on the field small amounts towards the back end of the game. But you know, I always say that, you know, there was 15 other blokes who weren't a part of that 17. You know, and they would have loved to be a part of that 17 and not get on the field like I did. So you know, it's got to be grateful that you're a part of that match day team. You get the premiership ring, and you know, it's just drive me. You know, it's made me want to achieve another one and work as hard as I can to make sure I'm there again one day and get on the field, or be a main part of the reason of winning the grand final. And you know, people can, haters are going to say, oh, you don't deserve that ring, you didn't get on the field, you know, but you weren't there. You know, you weren't part of that 17, and I was, and no one can ever take that away from me. So yeah, that journey towards the grand final is something I'll never forget, and it's something I want to be a part of again. Yeah, this is probably be the toughest question I'll answer this year, I reckon. There was a lot of media about it, and it was the first time that I've really had that sort of media speculation in my career, and you know, it was a bit draining, to be honest. You know, like I was thinking about it a lot and thinking about it before I go to bed when I wake up, and you know, it was a decision I wanted to make and get it done so I can just really focus on the rest of this year. And obviously, you know, I've said a lot in all my interviews and whatnot. I wanted to stay at the Melbourne Storm, and you know, the Melbourne Storm made my 5-year-old self live the dream that I've always wanted to live. And I don't know how I'll ever repay that, and I would have loved to have been here forever, you know, but obviously sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want it to. And I have dreams and ambitions, and goals that I've set, and now I'm in the NRL, and sometimes you just can't do that being second in charge. Perhaps as the number 1 here, Munster's number 6, Hughesy's number 7, and they've earned that. I could never say that they haven't earned that, because they have. And it's just like whatever workforce you're at. If you have ambitions and dreams, you don't want to just sit behind someone your whole life. You don't want to be too IC, your whole life. If someone's going to offer you a job in charge, or in a better thing, you're gonna take it, and you're pretty silly if you weren't going to take that. And it's just we're the same. Rugby league players are the same. You have dreams and goals that you set, and sometimes it just has to be somewhere else. And I know the fans and members and whatnot wouldn't like to hear that, but it just has to happen. And I gave the respect to the Melbourne Storm to come with an offer first, and I made sure that they were the first person to come at me with something, and I wanted to make sure that they knew that, and I respect the club too much, and Craig and Frank and the boys, that to not let them have the first crack, and which they did. And I had to think about whether I just wanted to sit on the bench again next year and fill in when I can, or then I did have other clubs come and offer me what I wanted, and to be a starting and a key member of a team. And like I said, the goals and dreams I've set is too hard to knock that back. If everything worked out how I want it to be, obviously Melbourne Storm was the club for me forever, because what they've done for me is the reason why I'm sitting here today. But just in the point in my life right now, I feel like that I'm going in a place where I want to be in my rugby league, and I don't think that's being on the bench. And Craig was up front and honest with me from the start, and so was Frank, and I wanted to be the exact same to them. And we had an open and honest relationship through the whole process, and that's how I wanted to be, and that's how it stayed. And that was probably easily one of the hardest things I had to do, was to sit down with Craig and Frank and tell them that I was leaving. And it got pretty emotional. I struggled to get the words out, and then I went and told the coaching staff, and then I went and told the players, and that was really hard. And you've made probably the right decision when you have the backing of the players and the coaching staff as well. And they've backed me. I went and got advice off people and some of the players as well, and then they've said you got to go do it. And when you have the backing of the playing group you're at the time, and I think that's the right decision I've made. And I'd love for the Melbourne Storm fans and members to back me as well. The decision was so hard, and I can't explain how hard it is, and it's just happened now. And I'm looking forward right now to put that to the back of my mind and finish the year strong with the Melbourne Storm, because that's what I'm thinking about. I want to put my best foot forward and show, people are going to question my loyalty, but I've been loyal since day one to this club, and I'll be loyal to the club when I leave, and I'll probably be a Melbourne Storm supporter for the rest of my life. And I always admire what this club do on and off the field, and I want to prove my loyalty for the rest of this year and make sure that that's at the back of my mind moving on, and just finishing this so strong with this club, and hopefully could possibly finish with another premiership ring. And that's our common goal here at the moment, and we're going to strive and do our best to do that. I'm going to miss everyone here at the club, from the membership team, the content team, to the whole office staff, from the CEO up all the way down, playing staff, the players, everyone. It's going to be a sad day once I pack my stuff and leave, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be emotional when I do that. Like I've said a number of times, Melbourne Storm have gave me everything and done everything for me, and they've been massive for my family as well. Not only me, my family are now followers of the Melbourne Storm. My dad was a massive Dragons fan his whole life. He still kind of is, but he loves the Melbourne Storm, I reckon, more than the Dragons. And I don't think he'd ever say that, but even my brother, my mum, stepmom, everyone's such a Melbourne Storm fan now. And to the members, fans, everyone who supports Melbourne Storm, I thank you so much for being a supporter of mine, following my journey. I hope you can continue to do that. I'm really sorry that it's happened like this and I have to leave, but I'm going to do everything I can to make you guys proud for the rest of the year, and I hope to see you at a game or two soon.